And same is the universities. And I think this is a related thing. If you look our universities, rarely they are in the top 100. Yeah. Because top 100 universities, and these are not, what I will say, of that standard, which encourages bright students to stay back.
Good afternoon, Dr. Ranjan.
Afternoon.
It's an honor to have you here at Pharma now.
I'm very happy to discuss with you.
Fantastic. So, because I'm already overwhelmed with your journey, with things you are doing. But I really very much curious about to really understand being one of the founding person to bring a drug discovery to India. So how it's been like, how your journey been like?
Yeah, see, one thing is there, I always, throughout my life, I have done what major people didn't do. To start with, when I started my higher education, that means my master's degree, I went for a subject called biochemistry. If I'm not wrong, I think I most probably is the first 2 or 3 batches of second or third batch of the biochemistry in India. I was in Calcutta University, because those days people used to go for chemistry. Because chemistry was the area where a lot of jobs were there, high-paying jobs, because those days multinationals were still in India and they used to hire chemistry people. But from my whatever I used to read, because I mean those days this US consulate and all that places are the one where you read what is happening across the globe. Indian newspaper you won't used to get much, TV was not there. So I used to read, I found this is a very interesting thing, the mixture of chemistry and medicine. And that's how I started biochemistry, and that's how I went abroad. Then when I was in the pretty good position there to have a fantastic career in the drug discovery area, then I decided, okay, I'll come back to India and then let's see what is happening. And all my friends, they are still there. They abused me like anything. Are you mad or what? At this stage you are now, today, you are starting, because many people, they struggle in that country and spend whole life as we tell them, glorified postdoc. And then many, they have a decent life there. But I was much better than that, and because I worked in Boston area, where actually the professors were mostly involved in advisory committee of big MNCs. So they can put you anywhere if you want to get a job there. Besides that, I also worked with some very famous group in metabolic disorder area, diabetes, obesity, metabolism. So there was no problem for me to get some NIH or that kind of grants. So, but still I decided, I came here, then I started drug discovery, and everybody, but that time also I had a partner. People not only abused me, but also abused Dr. Ranjan Reddy, who started drug discovery in Dr. Reddy's, because see, these are the few visionary people who started that drug discovery in India. And people used to tell, that those days Dr. Reddy was famous for its very quick increase in the share value. Not only the company thing, but the share price was increasing like, it was one of the top companies whose share price used to increase so fast. So they said, oh, Dr. Reddy had a lot of money, that's why he wanted to invest that in drug discovery. Well, nothing will happen. This is all the thing. we took that challenge. We went to that area, and then ultimately it started. It is. We are not able to put a drug into the market, but we are the first one to out-license the drug, and we are the first one to go in US and do the phase 3 clinical trial. So that's what I said. All my life there are a lot of risk I have taken, lot of first thing what I have done, and you know, anything where you become the first is a big risk. So that's what, and I think that's how luckily some of the cases I succeeded, some of the cases as in drug discovery I didn't succeed. And then when I moved to that is the time where I started to going at different other countries from Dr. Reddy's onwards. I have seen how the multinational works, why they are successful in drug discovery and why we are not. And then when I moved afterwards to US Pharmacopoeia, there I was, it is, that was the discovery, this is a regulated part. Here then when I went to Dr. Reddy's, US Pharmacopoeia, I was in charge of the global group, global team, the labs in China, Ghana, US, along with India. And I have seen how the difference, how the people work differently, how the culture is different. And then I have an opportunity to visit the Asian countries who has done a big thing in discovery, especially innovation in China, in Korea, Japan, Singapore, and I could clearly understood where we are lacking and why these countries have gone up. So that has enriched me heavily, and that's where I think I in present, after I retire from USP, am of course consulting few groups, but also I am helping different organizations, including government, on to build an ecosystem. And also I'm working very closely with academics, both for skill development, because that is a big issue in our country. Unlike in China or the other Southeast Asian countries, that somehow the getting properly skilled people is not in our country. So that I think I have decided that I will now spend some time. So I'm teaching in many of these institutes. I'm also associated with many of the research council of the research activities there, because I think we need to do a fundamentally something different to be a leader in the innovation. Yes, we are doing a great job with respect to GDP and their position, but innovation still we are nowhere among, I think, maybe top 20 or top 50 most probably. And same is the universities. And I think these are related things. If you look our universities, rarely they are in the top 100, because top 100 universities are counted on research, not only how many students are coming out, how many PhDs coming out, because of course we have very talented students. We are actually feeding global universities. Our people are coming out from IIT, our universities, going to US and Europe, all these universities, and doing fantastic job there. They are the top rankers there. From there they are going straight to the companies there, whichever. Pharma companies, IT companies out there. Today, see, the CEOs of so many top companies are Indians. So this is where I think we are losing out, and that the basic concept is that, because see, today in this generation, it is not our generation, this present day generation, they are very important. To them, the ecosystem and the work environment is very important, not only the salary and all that. You cannot just keep them by giving big salary. If they are not mentally satisfied, they will not stay there. And that's where is lacking in our country. And that's why you will say all the top, what do we call, the cream, they all go abroad. because the kind of system, the ecosystem, the kind of mental fulfillment you feel it there. Because as I worked there, I worked here. It is very difficult to get it here, even after all these years, because I came back in this country in 1995. So it is what, 27 years now. Yeah. Even after this, still we are nowhere to that part. My own daughter doesn't want to come back because she is a different area, of course. But the environment, work environment there is totally different.
Yeah.
So these are few things we need to do it here. Otherwise, because innovation cannot happen by those typical MSc, PhD and then get into industry and do it here. You need people who think out of the box.
So I just going to ask you here, because this is a very important topic you are talking about. In 1997 when you come back,
Why? 1995.
Sorry, 1995.
Yeah.
When you came back, you started with Dr. Reddy's. At that time, you took a very different decision, a very disruptive decision to start a drug discovery. I think which was very unusual.
Dr. Reddy took you know the challenge those days in biology. Chemistry in India was very well established.
Yeah.
In biology, I ordered some in US that time in my lab. If I ordered something today evening, tomorrow morning the material will be in my lab. Here if I ordered now, and now it has changed. Those days, it will take a week. And then, see, biology samples, you need maintenance of temperature is very, very important. So I used to order enzymes. After 7 days, when I come to my lab, I open the box. No, there is no ice, all water. And my enzyme is floating in that water. Can you imagine? My 7 days are gone. So in a competitive field, when you lose 7 days like that, what is that was the situation there. Then regarding the animals, because for drug discovery, animal studies are very, very important. There were no good lab here to get the good quality animals. So in Dr. Reddy's, we started our own breeding, and that was all Anji Reddy. He has that visionary person. He said, yeah, go ahead, because if I have to do it, I have to set up this. So I am ready to set it up. You guys do it there. So I personally used to go to airport. We used to import animals from Jackson Labs as the core colony. We used to bring them and then start breeding those and then propagate the colony. So I have enough animals for an experiment. People here have no idea how to. They used to pull these carts, and then throw it, animals like that on the tarmac. So this in the first 1 or 2 shipments, half of the animals are dead when they arrive to our facility there. Then I said it is too much, because not only that, this is a criminal offense. You are killing these animals like this. Then I used to come to this, those days Begumpet was the airport, which was a small airport. I used to come late night when the international flights come, and I myself used to stand there, clear those things, immediately put them in air-conditioned car and send them to our facility, which was outside the city, and then I used to stay in the city, I used to go my house. This is the way we had to do our research. And to be frank, many times I used to think, why the hell I came back here? But today, I am happy at least that we did a lot of these things, we suffered a lot, but today at least we could build a system where biology research can be done. And that is from there, it started today that all these biologics, what we are seeing today, biosimilars and all that, because these would never have been possible if this ecosystem, this supply chain, those were not properly done. But I think still there is an issue. If I look at the China or Singapore or these places, all of the raw materials are available there. They are making it. Very few they are importing. Whereas in our country, everything has to be imported. That's why we got in so much trouble during COVID. Everything we had to import. So if there is a disruption of the supply chain, then you are in serious trouble. And that is another big thing what we are lacking. And it is good that I used to discuss it in different government forum. The government has started now to look into this aspect, both for pharma and biopharma. And both DBT, my Department of Biotechnology and Department of Pharmaceutics are actively working in this area. So hopefully this will be sorted out. Because see, these are the things which if it does not happen, then we can never go up the value chain. And because to go value chain, you need the thinking, you need the freedom, and you need the proper supply of the raw materials.
Sure. So, sir, I have a question here. We are taking so much efforts from the government side, this ecosystem has been set up. Do you think that the new generation, the young people, they need a shift in a thinking, in a thought process? Because getting into innovation, getting into R&D, it will require a different kind of mindset. But nowadays, like rather in India, it's considered as a service industry. We all are focused on service, getting a lot of money from service. So do you think there is a need to be a shift of a mindset to get into innovation? And
Yeah, I'll tell you, I have a lot of discussion on this, both because as I told you, I'm teaching students now.
Yeah.
To the students as well as to the professors of IIT and those places. So two things are there. Number one, students when I say, when I teach them, first thing they ask, okay, now you are teaching us this thing, so we'll pass the course. Then where shall I get the internship? And then how can I get a job? So that's that very, we call it tunnel vision.
Yeah.
Typical tunnel vision, that's what we have to do. Then I used to ask those to IITs that, because see, that's where, because IITs, I say they are the suppliers of brain to all international universities and the companies. So that's what I understood. Then there also, I met with a lot of students and all that. See, they are very aware because they are very bright students. So they just only don't read book. They also keep on, because today with your mobile phone you can get all information. They are keeping a track of the situation in India, the work environment, the opportunities here, and the level of research, what is happening here. And these are not, what I will say, of that standard which encourages bright students to stay back. So they are convinced that if I stay here, then I can't do proper justice of what I can achieve in my life. That was the reason they are going out. So yes, one thing is there, you can say the students should start thinking, but those students who can think that, we also have to tell them, yes, we can provide you an environment where you can work and innovate. I think it is slowly developing, it is still not developed. And if really it has developed, then we can go and tell all people. We should first thing what we will do with those people who have developed that system, they should go to these universities and talk. See, we have this thing we have done, and you can come here, you can do this. Because today, even today, if you see most of the universities, they attract students by telling that we will arrange your internship, we will arrange your placement. Who tells that we will arrange you a good research opportunity? Have you heard anybody? So, this innovation, because see, you can just tell people that why you don't innovate, why you are all going for industry job, because they are bright people. They don't rely on what you are saying. They rely on what is happening, the information. Because today information is available on your fingertips.
True that, very true. So, I think this can go on.
I know. And I love to discuss that because, see, I came back to this country. If it was not drug discovery, I would have never come back from there. We came back there and we built an ecosystem those days. So many companies started, but then everything died off. And that's something I really feel bad. that it is so sad that it has died off, and I will try whatever I can to bring that thing back, because today, I mean, understand, government also understand that we cannot go up the value chain until unless we know any field. It's not pharma, biopharma, IT, any field you want to grow up the value chain, you have to innovate in your country. You have to have innovative product. It gives you money, it gives you recognition, everything it gives you. And I'm very happy that recently in one of the CSIR institute, I'm in the research council meeting, so the secretary of India government was telling that Prime Minister told them that I want each of these central labs should come up one idea or one product which will, like Chandrayaan, what is done to India in globally, that idea or that product should have a global recognition. That thing has to be implanted in the researchers of our country, and if it happens, you will see slowly that will go to the students and the whole ecosystem will change.
Very true, very true. This is important. So I think the last I would like to have your one of your advice to our the young generation who wants to really get into the pharma field and want to get into the R&D. So one advice from your end. I know one is very difficult, but
no, one is very difficult. I will give two.
Yeah.
One is that most of the people are too obsessed on the technology. That what techniques I will do, like in biopharma, what techniques I can do to understand the primary structure or glycosylation or all that. See, where are our problems? You tell me in pharma industry. Look at pharma. It is same. Any meeting you attend, if there is a FDA representative, because many meetings I attended, Sarah, everywhere I see she is telling data integrity is a major issue. Data integrity means what? You are hiding the thing what you are doing wrong. That not only gives a bad impression of that organization, also impression on the country. That people here do this kind of thing. Any of the universities, have you heard? They talk about this or teach people this. So whenever I talk to the students now, I tell them, see, because there is an issue. Issue is that you have to batch release. Batch release is a craze in our companies. And to do that, if there is a thing that on the Indian batch ko release karna chahiye. So it does, if you can somehow manage it today, but that will be, it will be identified somewhere down the line that this batch is not proper quality batch. So you will get caught. So why you are doing this? So in that case what happened is young people has to stand up. That no, I cannot sign, because end of the day the technician signs, then the manager signs, then director, VP, all this goes. So this has to be there, and they have to, because this, why I have faith in this generation are not scared to tell on your face. If they don't like something, if they think something is not wrong, they should do that in their job. Then itself you will see that this ecosystem, because we still have serious problem in the quality and in the quality culture, I will say, in our country. And there is a big gap. Recently in a conference, our DCGI was talking that there are two groups. One group is the top 20 companies who their whole culture is like multinationals, because they deal only with them. They don't care what DCGI guidelines and all that doing, because they follow those guidelines and it helps them to get through DCGI and also those. But there are all those other 200, still it is more than 200, if you look at all those MSMEs and all that, where there is a serious issue. And then see, one after another cases are coming out. Cough syrup, kids are dying. I mean, it's a shame. Yes, and if these things, and these actually affect even the students. They also, the bright students think, where shall I go? These places where I have to have this kind of environment. And then another issue is the culture. Today, academic culture is changing, but still in many of our academics, we have that. Whatever professor says, that's it. You can't protest the professor. That culture, because I worked in Boston, and then as I was telling you, any meeting there I go, we used to have 15, 20 Nobel laureates moving around in that place. And a first year student will stand up and tell on his face if he doesn't like any of the data there and all that. And nobody bothered. The Nobel laureate goes, oh, I'm a Nobel laureate, you are criticizing my data. That whole concept is not there. You are a scientist, scientifically you have every right to criticize the data, and if you are wrong, I will convince you and I will tell you why I am wrong. This is the culture for innovation.
Yeah, I agree. Wonderful. I think
Okay.
Dr.
Yeah.
Ranjan is really beautiful, and I feel like it should go on, but I think we should stop.
So yeah, I also get carried away because I really feel bad because we came with a big hope, and we at least to some extent we could have achieved that, but then we again went back. So I think it needs to be done there, and now it is the time for India.
Yes.
This is the time for India, and we should correct these loopholes, whatever we have, then nobody can stop us. Because see, the brains from here going all over the world and developing those countries. So why they can't do it here? And this is, the issue is that we can't provide them that environment.
Right.
Okay?
I'm sure, I think, finger crossed, we will do this.
Sure.
Wonderful. Thanks a lot.